All right, good morning, this is special Selectmen's Meeting for October 2nd, 9 AM. Where it's a special, just a couple of us, we can skip the Pledge of Allegiance, everybody agrees?
Agreed.
Okay, so, do we,
We don't have any minutes for approval, we don't have any warrants for approval, we don't have anybody here for open session, so we can go right down to old business and start with culverts and beaver issues. I
Okay.
have, on Silver's Mills, I have a culvert that keeps getting plugged. I had
the one down by Mark Gray's?
I had a trapper down there, he trapped, caught some beaver, but obviously didn't take care of the problem. I spoke with Senator Paul Davis about LD
547.
547, I was gonna say 7.
Nope, I had that memorized.
But he said, yes, it's passed, but it's already been amended. All you have to do is call Inland Fisheries Wildlife Commissioner and get a permit, and you can essentially take care of your beaver problem without trapping.
Nice.
So I've got to do that.
All right, you let me know when you do, because I may have a few people that I know that might be interested in helping.
Okay, well, I mean, I'd like somebody
Mm-hmm.
knowledgeable and,
Yep.
and all of that.
Yep, no, I know some people that would help us take care of it.
So when I was.
What is that, LD 547?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, it's, instead of dealing with, it's a better way to
Trap.
deal with trapping them.
Right.
They're gonna give a permit to euthanize them,
Also, I
so.
took, I called USDA Ben Nugent, who is Ben Nice's boss and deals with the making of, what do they call the structures?
Beaver deceivers?
The deceivers and,
I don't really.
and something else, anyway. He said the fact that we'd taken out one culvert on Anderson Road would not change the price any. And that the real issue is he can't get any of the materials right now.
Oh my gosh.
I said, well, I have the culvert, but that's about
Right.
all I have. And he suggested a steel grate in front of the culvert as a means of trying to,
Because it's not only beaver, what I found out, it's also muskrats.
yeah.
That's what they were
Eric's told
watching.
me, Eric's told me that.
They do the same thing? Ah,
Yep.
interesting, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
maybe that's something we need to try there is another permit. I don't know, but you're gonna have a problem if they block your one culvert.
Yep. Yeah, I would, if you would call on inland about that and find out for both spots,
Yeah,
see how that all works and go from there.
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I won't be back until,
When are you coming back?
I'm coming back in time, I'll be back Sunday, but it's a whole week.
So we just call inland fisheries and wildlife? I don't mind calling.
Okay. I
I'll
don't-
call and ask, see how it works,
Yeah, see how it works and then get,
and I'll let everybody know.
Okay.
Alright.
that would be good, because I don't wanna wait a week, because by the time I come back, they'll have both culverts plugged.
Well, the one on Anderson, that's been unplugged twice since it's been lowered. So
Yeah.
far.
And
They're on it again right now.
Silver's Mills.
Is there a season for beavers, you know, because it's getting to be winter
There's a
and
traffic
they're
season
making...
during the winter, and during the winter, I can probably get somebody to, just give somebody permission to trap, and
Right.
it won't cost the town, they'll trap it. But it doesn't seem to take care of the
persistent problem.
During the summer, they're called, it's out of season, so you have to hire only trappers that are licensed for
For
nuisance
Oh,
beavers.
oh.
So then you actually have to pay,
Oh, I get you.
so
Yeah,
it's kind of a pain.
yeah.
But is there a season for beavers with regard to when they want to stop the water, or do they always want to stop the water?
Always.
Okay.
Always. I don't know if they do much in the winter, but they always.
They always want to stop the water. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's their natural means for food.
Yeah.
The more they flood, the more
Oh, then they
the
can.
water comes up, they can go out further.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, alright. B.
All right, ARP money. I told you that there was a timeline and that we didn't have to apply until 2024. I was mistaken. We had to apply immediately. Even though we don't have a plan for the money. I applied immediately and we've received half the money. I called and they said that in the next 12 months you will receive the other half of the money. There is some reporting that has to be done by April, this coming April. So I think you kind of start to have to make a plan on what you're going to do with the money, but I haven't.
I was looking down through that list. I mean, your health officer's part of it, so, I mean, I would think we could take a percentage of payroll. You could use it for that. Part of it, you can cut the benefits out of that. There's a big piece for COVID.
Yeah,
So, I mean, anything to do with cleaning or bloody blah, you got that. And then on top of COVID, I bet we could, depending on where we're at with the new town office, I bet you could slide all of that
Oh, wow.
money right over to that, because that's, you know.
yeah,
when we-
building with ventilation and, you
Sure.
know, just,
You know, a modern bathroom with cleanable surfaces,
Right.
and even the office, the cleanable surfaces.
right, and proper
So-
barriers and everything else.
Yeah, I bet that whole, what, 67,000?
Well,
I bet.
times two.
So you're getting
Times two.
134.
So, I
That
bet
can
you
be
could,
done.
I bet you could slide all that into that
Yeah,
category.
anything
That's
you don't spend goes
brilliant.
back, obviously.
You know what?
Anything you don't spend goes back, so you,
Right. Wow,
Yeah,
great.
cause
Well,
I bet if we had somebody official come in and between the carpets and the
all
sheetrock
the
walls and
surfaces.
the woods and,
Yeah.
yeah, they definitely, I bet we could slide that.
Well, and I don't know if there's, doesn't look like we have ventilation in here, right?
No,
yeah, show them the
No.
basement.
no,
Yeah, there you go. So,
just a thought.
yep, and even just being able, you know, technology-wise, Zoom meetings, so
Sure.
that people don't have to come in.
Sure,
All of that, that's all related.
yep.
Yeah, because that's the way, obviously the way the future,
Right.
even for classes, even for,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and 88, you know, all that stuff, people who can't come in, can, so,
Well, I know at work now, we have big screen TVs in every break room.
is that
And
right?
that's a lot of our paper stuff we're not doing anymore. We have it just streaming all the time. Anytime you wanna change it, you just put it on the board, put it in there.
Wow, that's
that would be
great.
So, I mean, even in, yeah, I mean, like in here, and you could do the same thing, no more of this. You could
Yeah.
have a couple monitors up, so if people was here, they'd see it on the screen, or see what we see, or,
Yeah,
so.
but even, you know, just as far as like a sign outside that you streamed, when the next, you know, for posting of the next meeting, so
Yep.
everybody driving by knew when the next meeting was,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Cool.
That's great.
yeah, so we'll need a plan for that, but.
Yep.
But we already have some of the money, I thought that
Yep.
was a good
Right.
deal.
That's great.
New business, eh?
Can we skip into B first since
Sure.
it's a quick,
Sure.
the school budget appointment, I've talked to Lori Roden and she agreed
School
to,
board appointment?
yes,
Okay. You said budget.
good lord. I'm ready for a nap.
It's all right, I understand.
It's 9:15. So, school board.
Yep.
She agreed that she would, and I don't know, we have,
So even if we appoint her, we're still two openings, right?
right, we have a
Amy's
1
the only
year,
one right now.
we have a 1-year term, and I think 2 2-year terms.
Yeah, I would appoint whatever she wants, doesn't matter.
I thought we'd appoint her for the 1-year term, and if she survives it, wants to do
Yeah,
it again, we
yeah.
just give her.
I agree there.
I don't think it matters, because if they don't like it, they quit anyway.
Correct,
You know what I mean?
correct,
So,
but
yeah.
I just thought in terms of,
Yep.
yeah.
So should I make a motion that we appoint Lori Ann Roden to the school board for the 1-year term position?
Second. All in favor? Unanimous?
Okay, so now, special town meeting. I have been crunching the numbers and watching the numbers I put in front of you. I sent this spreadsheet to you. Basically, it's for Public Works.
Yep.
Did all the divisions, summer roads, winter roads, contractors, garage, training. Put out the budget, what we've spent, the pending column, like on summer roads, depending on, I have bills for that 28,000.
Okay, you just haven't cut the check.
We haven't had the warrant yet.
Okay,
Actually, for winter roads, 35,000 is the salt, the sand, and the putting up of it. The rest of it is plowing, because I know what that's going to be, which leaves us 8,800 in that budget. Contractors, we've spent that, the garage, that's utilities and fuel. I don't know that it'll go quite to the 1,300, but I thought I would be safe counting that much. Paving is scheduled for the end of next week, so somebody, either Mike or one of you, is going to have to be in touch with Roundy's. I'll give you those numbers. I'll put it all in an email, I think.
Okay.
And the 300,000 will get us the rest of our base coat and 1.5 miles of top coat. And then the others are all small things. So we're basically here because for 450,000 we could finish East Sangerville, and that's what this bottom number down here is.
Correct.
Okay, the rest of it, we have money in grading, and we still have money in the summer roads, but that's probably another 5,000 that's gonna come out of that 25 we have left. Brush cutting, I've been talking to Rick Drew, well, actually his wife. He's still working, but it's slow. He said he'd be here in December, but the price for the brush cutting has gone up to $14.95 a mile instead of $1,000. So that would be $4,500.
The amount of time and effort and
Oh.
what that mean does for a mile for even at $1,400.
Oh, it's definitely.
There's no way you could hire 2 people
no.
and rent a chipper and do and not touch what he's doing.
And it's both sides of the road, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
I mean-
but I mean, it's done. It's,
No, I know.
it's
Oh, I
one
know.
done. It's not handle it twice. It doesn't.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he did Silver's Mills last year, and then you compared it last winter to Flanders, which he didn't get to.
What a difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I think that is.
Silver's Mills was a tunnel in some of those snowstorms before he did that.
Really?
And Flanders Hill was afterwards. I took pictures like this is just.
Right.
Okay, so, but that is 4,500 that we will be spending. I got a notice from Paris Farms that said you really should order all your culverts for next year by December, because if not, you will not have them for road work. I spent right around 11,000 on culverts this year, and we're down to 6 metal ones and 5 plastic ones. So I think we should be ordering some culverts. I talked to Rowdy's, they're gonna do my trench paving for me. I have a lot of culverts on Silver's Mills that have been reset or taken out, new ones put in, and one on Goff Road. Lisa and I were talking, and I think 6,000 is the upper end of what it would cost us to do the trench paving. I have the dam on here. I don't believe we'll actually get to it. And I don't actually have a quote in hand because I can't get anybody to give me an actual quote. But
I'm gonna talk to Herrick about that again.
I talked to Zach again. He said he'd go look at it.
But that number's from Brian.
That number's from Brian, but he won't return my calls.
Oh.
I think he's just so busy, he just doesn't want to bother. Actually, the water's back up.
It is.
And I don't know that if now's the time to approach it or not, but that's on the list. Ball field cleanup. I have been talking to Clint Roden. He's willing to clean it, all that playground equipment that I haven't been able to get anybody else to remove, he's willing to do that. The telephone poles around the parking lot are coming apart, and he's willing to remove those. There's some old soccer goals. He's willing to take the dock out for me. The hang-up is he's not insured, so I would have to hire him as a town employee for the day. And either way, if I ignore the fact that he doesn't have insurance, it hits our workers' comp. So it would be better just to do it properly, fill out the paperwork, hire him for the day, get it done. And he started out with like a quote of like 1,000, but I've added several things to the, so
That comes out of the ball field account anyway.
it comes out of the ball field account, and there's
That doesn't
plenty
matter.
of money there
Yeah,
to
we'll just
do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Get everything done, all that.
Center Pond Dock, I've talked to the Newts, and hopefully they will get that done. Oh, as far as grading, the Newts are supposed to do the grading this week.
So all the dirt roads,
All the
again.
dirt roads and the boat landing. I will remind them before I go. If it doesn't get done, I will be contacting somebody else. I already asked Herrick's for availability. They don't have any, so I'll have to hit Lawson and whoever else I can
Yep.
find, okay?
Yep.
Let's see. So that's a little over $35,000 worth of stuff that still needs to get done out of the remaining
Sure.
25,000. So we need a little extra there for planning to do all of those. And that's not counting the gas increase for plowing. If we were to have one, it's $6.50 for every 10%. There's only 2 months. I put 1,900 down, but I don't believe that's something we're gonna hit, but just
To
in case.
save the book,
Yep.
yeah,
Just in case.
okay.
So, that would be added another 2,000, so there's
Okay.
37,000.
So what do you need for, are you gonna separate that out? So you're gonna ask, are we gonna have like one line item for the paving and another line item for what you need to get the rest of the stuff cleaned up?
Yeah, I started pulling it together because I want you to sign it today, and I'll set it out either way. I've put in 150 right now for paving and hadn't addressed the rest of it yet.
So
Okay.
you are gonna split it up? I think it should, yeah, definitely.
And the other thing I want to tell you is this is directly going to hit cash flow. So sometime next spring, you will be really low on funds. I
That's it.
talked to
Well, we
Taylor.
won't, yeah, we won't be low.
No, you have plenty of
We have
money.
plenty.
Right,
Cash
sort of the
flow.
operating.
Cash flow.
Correct.
You'll have a lot of money sitting in a CD, but you won't,
Yep.
won't be out where you can get it. I talked to Rhonda, she said you can have whatever portion of your money you want at any time. Just knowing that though is that they will take whatever you want out, and then you'll have to set up a CD, and the CD rates are just plummeting.
Sure.
So right now, we're in a 3-year CD, just about finished the first year in the CD at 1.1. And if we were to do it today, it would drop to 0.65,
Sure.
and they're still going
Yep.
down.
It's all right.
So I just wanted
Yeah,
to know that just because we have the money doesn't mean that it won't affect your cash flow at some point.
right.
Right now, we're only 162,000 above where we were last year, and we haven't even taken out the 300 we did we would have already done paving by this time last year.
Yep.
So we're a little behind in getting money. That's not taxes, because in those terms, we're in really good shape.
So what do you think it is?
A little bit of it is excise. I thought excises were gonna go up, they went down. We got a little less money for homestead than I thought we were going to get. We don't have our LRAP money, that'll come in. I'm not positive what else is low. Those are the ones that I know are a little lower than. But obviously, we didn't have 67,000 for ARP sitting there like that either.
Right,
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, we're far from need to worry. That's for sure.
but I just wanted you guys to be aware.
Yeah,
That,
yeah,
that those are,
right.
All right, so you're gonna have those two line items. And then I would like you sent off the Dexter nuisance ordinance.
I did, and I also sent off, I recently sent him Guilford's and the one I had drawn up, just to see. And he's gonna tell you that he likes the one I drew up because that's the basis of that one is his. He's gonna look at Guilford and tell you if Guilford's is
Not specific enough.
Right.
is better than Dexter's. And I've had a quick conversation with him, and he says, obviously more specific is better. Dexter's is better than the what we have. It's just not specific enough to his liking, because a lawyer can take that and say, well, clean and neat, and those terms, it's like saying something beautiful, like a subdivision saying that you have to have a beautiful yard. Well, anybody could take that to court and say, I think my yard is beautiful.
Right,
I like
right.
my bubble butts, I
Right,
like
but-
my,
Right.
I like my.
My biggest thing is what I wanna know from the lawyer is the verbiage in there properly, so you can impose your fine. Because
I
as far
believe
as
it is.
what he's worried about, whether you use Guilford or Dexter's, I'm not concerned about the pickiness. Because I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see we would ever use this ordinance to that extreme.
Right.
Right.
We're gonna use this on that extreme house.
Right.
So if you needed to use your ordinance, when the first thing you're gonna do, or what we should be doing, whether it's CEO or whatever, we should be taking a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
So we've got the documentation on the front side. So I'm just kind of in my brain thinking of the couple that we've dealt with over and over and over.
There are a couple we need to deal with right.
That's why I would like, what I would like to see is have it on the article for a new, just word it as a nuisance ordinance or whatever you wanna word it. And that means we've got until you get back for us to meet to decide what one we're gonna put on the warrant.
Okay.
We can, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah,
As a
yeah.
group, let's
We can
decide which one we like the best.
Well, because
But all you need to do is just put it on there that there's gonna be.
no, because it has to be posted with
The ordinance does?
the warrant. Now, you don't actually need a property maintenance ordinance right now in order to deal with the two issues that we have.
Oh, I would
because-
much rather deal with it this way though.
Yeah.
It's way easier and cleaner, I think.
Well,
Wait,
Yeah.
so
there
because
are
why?
state statutes right now that will cover
The issues.
the issues, and so between the CEO and myself as the local health officer, we could write the paperwork, send a letter.
Can you implement the fine?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, but-
It's right in the statute.
Okay, cause that's the problem. If you
Right.
can't implement a
Right.
fine, they're not gonna fix it.
Right,
Right.
but if we can, then I'd go ahead and do that.
Right, oh, yeah.
You might not even need an ordinance if, because you're saying you don't want to deal with anybody unless they're outrageously,
Right, that we're not
Yeah,
saying,
okay.
like you said,
well, and they're,
I just worry that when you start dealing with it on the health side, I think you are getting into more of an opinion base myself. A lot of scrap metal clutter, I don't see that as, how are you gonna deem that as?
that is not health, that is junkyard.
No,
And that is.
scrap
under-
metal, it is not junkyard. Junkyard is vehicles, more than scrap metal. That's
Well, more than scrap metal, but
Correct.
it's vehicles and parts thereof.
Yep, but that's what I'm saying, I think if you try to go that way, I
Yeah.
think you're a lot more opinion based than if you have a nuisance ordinance.
Yeah.
Now, if you start talking legitimate trash, that's a different
Right,
conversation.
right.
That's
and that's
straightforward
health, I
and,
mean, that's
sure,
rats and
that's,
everything else.
that's straightforward and there's nothing
Yeah,
they're gonna do
yeah,
about that.
Yeah.
But I just worry with the clutter that some of these have, if you're really gonna be able to,
So you do need a
I think.
property
you-
maintenance, and he's looking at them, and
But if you think about it, Dale, I mean, our next annual meeting will be what, February? We'll try to shoot for February.
You can't,
That's not that far
I
off.
know, if we
But
could
we
get one
can't
in
leave.
sooner than later,
Yeah,
Very nice.
but this
Yeah.
certain person can't even park in his own driveway at the moment.
so.
It's so bad, so we're kinda,
yeah.
I myself like Dexter's better than Guilford's, cause it's simpler, it's cleaner, it's easier. And I'm just really afraid that if you get into anything, And even as, I don't believe Guilford's
Well-
would pass in Sangerville, clearly states 3 cars.
The,
I can drive around this town and see a lot of 3 cars in a driveway.
Oh, yeah, oh,
The,
yeah, oh, yeah.
So I
That
mean,
wouldn't work, that
that's
wouldn't
not gonna pass.
No.
So I don't really wanna present,
Something that we know isn't gonna pass, and or is not, that half the town's gonna be in violation, and we're gonna
Right.
be dealing with.
right,
and the lawyer did say that it is more likely to stand up in court than not. But that's pretty
meaning
faint.
Dexter's.
Dexter's.
Well,
Meaning, that's kind of faint praise, but it's more likely than not. And it is better than what we had and repealed.
Would it hurt to move it forward and try it?
I don't think so.
I mean, if he's saying that he feels it would than what we had, and the verbiage is there so you can find.
Well, you won't be any worse off because
Right.
you can, ordinances can be repealed, ordinances can be replaced. You
And
can-
amended, and
and you
so
can
we
say-
can start with a very, just.
Basic, generic,
Right, right,
Defining, I just think if you're gonna pass an ordinance like this in this town, if you take all the ones that was sent us and everything that you did, the only one that I can think of that's really gonna pass is Dexter's. I think, because that's close to what we had, the only thing that is really different in there
with the enforcement.
is the verbiage
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
enforcement, which
Yeah.
is what that's why we got rid of the other one.
Right.
'cause
That's what we needed.
right, right.
So, you wanna try that? Let's just put that one on there.
Sure,
Can
sure.
you take that, pull Dexter's name out, put ours in it,
Yeah,
and
I
post it with
missed
this?
Dexter's name in one piece of it, so I'll go do that.
But I mean, is that possible with you leaving so we can get it posted?
Lorna's coming in half an hour.
Wow.
We're
Okay.
going to post this warrant if you give me the go-ahead to have a
Oh,
warrant.
yeah,
And it'll be posted. I will call Paul Davis, who said he can moderate. I will call Pastor Ray, who says the building is open, he just needs to know that we need it.
Yeah, even though it's a special, I don't wanna do it here.
no, no.
We did that once,
Yeah, I remember that.
never again.
Out the hall,
Down the car.
driveway. Yeah,
Everybody got counted twice, cause it was just such a,
yeah.
yeah,
You
alright,
gotta do it properly,
yep, okay.
especially with all the distance.
So do you wanna move that ahead?
Sure. So do you want me to make a motion?
Do you need a motion to have that added on?
No, I will go.
You'll just do
Okay.
it, we're gonna sign it anyway.
You're gonna
Okay,
sign it
right.
as soon as I get that on. So I'm going to put on one, I have one here for 150. How much else do you want to ask?
What do you need?
Well, I have 25, I think I need 37, another 20, I mean.
Yep, cause
Yep.
if you've got extra, you can burn it off.
Well, I can get,
You can put gravel on dirt roads, I mean, there's
I-
plenty of
I-
places to spend money.
there is. I can
Yep.
get Rick to do more.
Sure.
Yep,
Yeah.
sure.
So
I'll
we'll go for 20?
All right, so I can go do those right now. Actually, well, let's just finish the
Yep.
rest of this and I'll go do them
Okay.
and you can sign. Well, yeah, okay. Yep. So the only thing left is town manager's report. All right, I've added this code enforcement and abatement. So I want to start with those and then we'll talk about meetings for the month.
Okay.
Code enforcement, I spoke with Lance Johnson. He is really interested in code enforcement. He's been trying to find how to get licensed for the licensed plumbing inspector. Everything he sees talks about certification, but it doesn't necessarily make you a licensed.
Yeah, I talked to him last night. Well, he messaged me last night.
Okay.
He said that he talked to,
I sent it to George and to Paul Davis could help him find what.
well, he talked to Jerry, and Jerry doesn't think we can appoint him because he doesn't have his license. And I told Lance, I said, I don't believe that, because we're gonna appoint you now, but we're not getting rid of our other code enforcement and our other LPI.
Right.
So, as far as the town, we're covered.
Right,
We're appointing you so you can get it.
Right.
right.
So I said, I don't see
Right,
where there's an
right.
issue appointing
He
when you
also
not
said
had
that
it.
Jerry said that he couldn't be appointed code enforcement before and then be appointed LPI. I haven't seen anywhere.
I'm very certain he can be appointed for both right now.
Yeah.
We're not getting rid of our other one. He's gonna just get an appointment, so now we'll have two.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's not gonna be able to, he just can't sign a permit. I mean, he can't do anything.
Right.
Until he gets licensed.
Right.
That's how I see it. I mean, I could be
That's-
wrong.
No,
And he was texting me last night.
Yeah.
So I told him, and I've got the number at the house, or he can look it up, I told him to look it up online. If he just goes to the Maine State Licensing Bureau, it's the same bureau that I use for my electricians and my
Okay.
boiler operators,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
all state licenses all run through the same nurses, everything.
Oh, okay.
It all runs through the same thing. So, and I believe right now, well, I say that, but I know nurses aren't, but like, my boiler licenses, that you can do that online now. You don't have to do that.
Get your license online.
You take the test online.
Okay.
So boilers, electricians, and I know a couple other professions that are doing it online, but I know when my daughter had to take her state test, she did have to do that for a nurse in person. So I'm not sure how that works, but, so it's kinda neat, cause it's a one-on-one. When you do that, you sign in, and the girl, and you literally have to take whatever if you can only be the only person in the room,
Wow.
you can't have any materials in front of you, and you legit have to take, cause like it was kinda difficult, cause we have a wall camera, but I had to unmount the camera for him, and had to scan the entire room, so she knew that there was no hidden books, no
Yeah,
hidden
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
And the camera has to stay on the desk to see your everything at all times.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's this girl that I was talking to, she was really nice, she was watching, the night that I did my last Boilerman, she was watching like 30 people.
Wow.
All taking their tests, so it's kinda neat how they're doing it, and I'm sure he's gonna be the same way.
Right,
He could
right.
probably fall right into that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So you could appoint him, well, if you appoint him today, he's no longer a planning board
no, he would be planning board.
member, or you can wait till your next meeting.
Yep.
Also, talking about licensing, I had an inspector come, because they have to do a 3-year inspection of the compressor up to Public Works. I didn't know about,
Yep, it's pressure vessel.
so we went up and it's been unplugged for 3 years. And he said, well, if you remove this pin, I don't even have to inspect it. I can say that you have it, but it's inactive and won't charge you, and you can.
Oh, perfect.
So he helped me pull the pin because it was greasy and stuck, and we hooked the pin to the compressor, and so
Yep.
it's up there, and I don't know what we want to, if we want to do anything with it or not, but
Good.
we weren't charged for that, so.
Okay.
Good,
And
good.
so, yeah, so you could either appoint Lance today or wait till your next meeting.
I mean, should we just go ahead and appoint him so that,
Well,
or do we?
I was that's why, I mean, I talked to Lance that night at the store.
Right.
You've talked to him, so we the only thing is, and I think Mike had a good idea, Mike would mention that if we appoint him, the basis of how we're appointing him is that he has to have his licenses before December 1st.
Yeah.
First?
Yes,
December 1st?
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
And then that way there, if he can't get his licenses.
we have.
We have 30 days to find somebody else, so the town isn't screwed.
Okay.
Which I would love to give Lance every opportunity
right.
we can,
Right.
but at the same time, we can't get ourselves in a pinch.
Yeah, I was also, while talking to Paul Davis, he withdrew his name for
He did?
CEO.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
put his backing behind
Okay,
Lance.
alright. The only other question, I'm just thinking about this as we're sitting here, the only other thing too, who was the gentleman that George had for our backup when he was in Florida?
Brian Turner.
So,
I haven't spoken to him recently, but he did do some LPI stuff for us one winter when George wasn't available.
so I wonder if, and I'm thinking out loud, because I'm just thinking of, what about, that might be a possibility too, is to get a hold of him now, let him know what we're doing. So if something happens, we do come into a pinch,
He can
we at least
step
got
in.
somebody for a little bit until we're all set.
Yeah.
What's his name? Turner?
Brian Turner.
Right. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, and I mean, he's done our stuff for us in the past, so basically per diem, so I wouldn't
Right.
think he would mind doing that now.
I'll call Brian and ask him if he'll.
Okay.
Not a big deal. Abatement. Josh called me yesterday and wanted me to talk to you before he drafted a letter to a person who has asked for an abatement. This person was the owner of the property in question on April 1st. So when we committed taxes at the end of June, he was taxed for this property. Sometime in July, the results of a survey he had done came back, and his property is an acre smaller than what he's been taxed on, and he wants an abatement. Josh says that he doesn't think this wasn't what an abatement is for. I agree. He wanted me to run it by you. I'm like, I know they'll agree, but I'll run it by them. I mean,
We pretty well rubber stamp whatever Josh says.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
I mean, he's the guy that
Yeah.
knows, he
Right.
deals with all
He's-
the different.
Yeah, I mean, he's the expert, and
Yeah.
it's again one of those things where you treat everybody the same. You're the owner on record as of that cutoff
Mhm.
date.
Right.
You didn't notify anybody for that
That's,
No.
cutoff date,
I'm with him.
yeah,
so,
yeah.
okay.
Correct.
And it's not a lot of money, but I mean,
It is what it is.
it is what it is. So the only other thing on the town manager's report is your next meeting is scheduled for October 6th. I will not be here. You can still obviously have a meeting if that is what you would like to do. Lorna's available to set up an agenda for you if you choose, or we can make it for after the special town meeting, which would be what, the 13th?
My only thing is, should we just meet on the 6th, so we sign off on all the payroll and all the account stuff as normal? Or does that matter? If the town's okay, then I don't care. That's the
Yeah,
only
if you
thing.
don't, if
We
it's not
have-
holding up,
We have a warrant right now that's fairly sizable. That's because it has, well, it has a solid waste contract in it. I've told Lorna to hold out. The library put in their request for this year's money. I told her not to put it on this next warrant, just because, yeah, so maybe you should have a quick meeting. I didn't know if you had enough candidates to look at. You only had a couple that I know of.
oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, let's just schedule it for
Yeah, yeah.
now and then we'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would just assume not let the accounts get
Yeah.
backed up.
yeah.
No.
Alright, so do you wanna go ahead and make a motion for Lance for today? Or do you wanna wait till the 6th and bring him in so we can all talk to him about this?
That
Because
might be
we
a good
really
idea.
haven't,
Then you'll have Mike, then you'll have Lance.
That's a good idea.
Um,
I like that.
I would rather do that. than
Yeah.
just- Cause in case, I mean, I personally have known him since about my whole life, so I know
Really?
his,
Right,
well, I mean, he was
Well-
ahead of me in school, so I'm not friends per se,
right,
or,
but you've known him.
but
you
I've known
know.
of him, so
Right.
I have no problem doing it, but
But we should map
you
it out
guys,
for him.
yes, and everybody agree how we're gonna do it.
Right.
Yep.
So we'll plan on that, so that should be on the agenda.
6th. That would be a good thing to get taken care of.
And you'll let him know that to come in on the 6th?
Yeah,
I
I'll have,
already did.
Oh, you did?
oh,
Go ahead anyway.
okay, I'll have Lorna call it.
Yep. The stepdaughter works in the office.
Yes.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting that.
I'm like, Sarah, can I have Lance's number?
Yeah, I keep.
So that's
forgetting.
what, so when we were in the other day, that's what I said something to Sarah, I asked her, can you see if Lance wants to come in for the next
Oh,
meeting?
good.
So we could all talk, so,
Okay,
okay?
so we've gone through that. I'll go draw this out so that you guys can approve it and sign it.
Alright,
And then the only other thing would be everyone else who has applied for the CEO or has come in and spoken with us, we should notify them. But
As soon as you appoint, I
Yeah,
will notify.
yeah.
There's Kevin Sipple, Paul Davis withdrew.
Mark.
Mark,
And Mark.
yep,
And I haven't spoken to Al Tempesta,
Okay.
so it's like if Brian says he can't do it, maybe Al would be
Sure.
Sure.
a good backup.
yep,
If not, I'll start with maybe Keith Dorr.
yeah, we
I
can figure
got a
it out.
list of
okay.
backup people, but I wanted somebody that would really,
You wanna take a break while she's
Yes,
going to
yes.
get in that?
really meets
Yes.
our criteria.
Alright, make a motion, take a break.
Second?